So I wanted to give you some insight into the guitars and maybe show you how to play a few parts of latest single, the one that's about to come out called I'm Still Here. The whole ethos of the album is to try and get back to the original sound of Two Down, but take it to a place that we couldn't do 7 years ago, or couldn't get to 7 years ago. And so I'm using my original rig, or the original rig, and I think you can tell that. I think it sounds good, because I tried to experiment a lot in the last 4 or 5 years with sounds for guitars and different stacks, spent an awful amount of money on various things, and with Two Down it comes down to a really specific sound, and I couldn't get away from that. And it's a Mark II combi, and this one guitar, which I've been using for a long time now, it's one of my favourite guitars. It just seems to be the one that it's old trusty, and I have 3 of these now, but this particular type is the SE particular type of guitar. I just love it. I think it's good, and you can chuck it around and buy another one when it breaks or whatever. It's not too expensive. This one hasn't got the original Two Down branding, and I have one with the two actual logo of Two Down, the 2 upside down men on it, which is quite cool as well. But this is it. I've got it in an ISO cab outside now. We didn't have that before. We have like an ISO room next door, so you're hearing SM57, 2 Neumanns, K184s, K187s, and that's it at the moment. There's a condenser there, a blue one, but that's a bit crap. So the sound has changed though, because whereas Origins for March has lost everything up to now, apart from Humanity and the Wolf, which was 2 guitarists, a friend of mine played on that as well. Apart from that, it's always been just me. And this album is just me as well, but I had to write this album in mind that one of my bandmates is going to play guitar on it, and he's new to guitar, not that new now. He's been playing for like 6 months or something like that. He's good, he's getting good, but I had to play one, so there's like one part which is semi-complicated or dissonant and playing quite obscure stuff, and then the other part's kind of playing really simple stuff. So, and I always found that kind of songs that were more simplistic in the guitars were more popular songs, because they're, you know, when it comes to writing popular kind of metal music, there's no room for incredibly complicated stuff. There really isn't. If you think of the most popular metal bands, new metal, hard rock bands of the last 10-15 years, they aren't doing these kind of incredible, you know, anything. I think of some very, very popular albums off the top of my head now, which I'm not going to name, and it's like the guitarists don't know how to play guitar, but it's incredibly good. Like, the albums sound amazing, the guitars sound amazing. It just depends what you do with it, I guess, and how you write music. And, you know, Two Down's always been the aggression. The aggression's so important to Two Down, and for the first time with recording and tracking a Two Down album, we've not put production at the forefront. That's the last thing we think about now. We get a kind of basic drum pattern down. I do that on my laptop, and then we replaced the drums with a guy called Ben, who was on the Quiet One album. Very different type of drumming though for this, and built it up in one take. So all the guitars are one take. I say all the guitars, 3 of them. There's a left guitar, which is simplistic, right guitar, which is me, and then there's a middle guitar in the choruses, which is again me, and the simplistic guitar kind of takes the left and the right with a stereo splitter. And that's it. It's really simple, but it's quite catchy. So the intro, the kind of main theme of the song, starts this kind of hectic, almost chaos, a very obscure thing. We didn't want to go into different timings with the guitar because we've done that a lot in the past, and we wanted to keep up momentum. So the whole song is 4/4, changes, it's around 172 BPM, drops down to 170 at some points, things like that, but it's all around that kind of area. And again, it wasn't done to a click, which is nice, because normally we do it to a click. So it has more kind of rhythm and movement. But so this intro bit, it's in 4/4, but we play triplets, go back to 4/4, play triplets, go to 1/2, and it's quite a strange and odd timing. And there's this synth pattern that a new friend of ours, not a new friend of ours, but a friend who hasn't been in the band previously, plays as well, and it's quite interesting. So it starts with a kind of mute on the 1, like that, there actually. So it goes. So that's it, that's the beginning part. There's this, and we harmonise on that. I play the under the first time, then I play the over the second time, and to try and get a few different kind of layers and make it not sound quite as make it sound more exciting that way. Then there's this really easy part. Well, I play this kind of dissonant thing up here. And that's quite simple, kind of. It's not that simple, but getting the right sound. Normally what I do is I have a volume pedal. Sometimes I have a volume pedal, and so I normally roll off the input volume to the amp at that point, so you get a sound more like this. Which is kind of cool. And at that point, the simplistic guitar is doing this. That happens on the first kind of intro bit where Callum does his kind of input vocals, we call them. Then it goes double time, so changes note here as well. Goes back to the original one the second and fourth times. At this point it gets really simple. There's a kind of high bit going up here, same chord, just an octave higher. Then underneath there's this kind of back and forth riff thing, which is quite interesting. It starts off down here. We did an acoustic version of this for a little album we're doing, acoustic. It might be a free album as well, we're not sure yet. But and one side of the guitars does this. And then the other side of the guitar does this. And it kind of adds this nice harmony. It works better on acoustic because, to be honest, at that lower frequency it's quite hard to harmonise and make them sound distinct, but on acoustic it seems to work quite well. Then the kind of main chorus, that's the kind of pre-chorus thing. The main chorus is this kind of back and forth thing I was talking about. It goes. Then it goes back into the intro. And then it goes around and round. Another chorus, similar. The top chord changes though in the chorus. But then there's this bridge, and the bridge was something that we took from one of the demos for Two Lost Boys. We weren't sure where we were going to put it, but it fits so well into this. And it's strange that it fit because it doesn't use a key, it's completely keyless. Whereas this song is all in a single key. The notes involved in the next part don't pertain to any key whatsoever. It's just one of these kind of aloof things that seems to fit really well, and so we decided to use it. But it's just quite interesting, I think. And so you have this open note for a while, and then there's some gang vocals over it, and then it goes. That's it. When you're playing the pre-chorus, it's always downstrokes. The kind of adding double strokes didn't seem to work very well. It was just kind of always sounded better on the downstrokes, though. Rather than... I just think there's more definition in the downstrokes. I preferred that. So that's it, I think. The ending is looking good. And that's it. So it's not the most complicated thing to play, but it was one of the first songs. There's a really complicated song on the album that's currently called Dark One. And the album is this, I think I've explained it before, but it's literally, there's a big twist at the end, but it's literally about these two boys who go missing in a forest, and it's kind of about, the music is about their experiences from the point at which they're taken and left in this forest, and what happens in between songs is what's going on outside of this, I don't want to ruin the ending, but inside of this vacuum, this place that they're in. It's really good. Like, if you're interested, I do some story stuff, done some story stuff in albums in the past, but and there's not really that much dialogue like outside of the songs. It's mainly lyric based, which is nice, because I think with an album, unless it's for something specific like a game, or I did a film album 2 years ago, unless it's something like that, it's something that needs to be in lyrics, because people kind of don't want to listen to 15 minutes of dialogue in an album, kind of separating the tracks out. A little bit of that, there's maybe 2 or 3 minutes of it throughout the whole album, but not much at all. And there is a kind of surprise ending, which is really good. So that's I'm Still Here. It's the first single. One of you is getting it this week, which is very interesting. Literally the original tape from The Forest and from the album artwork as well. You're seeing the actual tape from The Forest. Because remember, this didn't happen like that, but we were there. This forest thing happened, and it was a 2-week thing that we tried to do to kind of get, like, method acting, to experience it, to help write lyrics and stuff. So the whole ideology wasn't completely alien to us. We wanted to know and experience what it would be like, and even going into a forest, staying there overnight, being surrounded by, or just being utterly helpless, that alone inspired so many lyrics for this album. It's unbelievable. And it's not just, I'm Still Here is quite a bad example to use, because it's literally about the forest and about being in there. And that's kind of, you know, not every song is like that, but there is a theme to the album, which is the inability to escape something that you may have inadvertently done to yourself, or, you know, these walls that you put up around yourself to deal with who you are or how you react to things and how you communicate with people, how you can't escape these walls that you put upon yourself. So yeah, in a sense the forest is a metaphor, but there is actually, in another sense it's really not. There is a physical side to what we're talking about, completely physical side to what we're talking about. And it's just a really interesting idea. You know, we started the Two Lost Boys like 5 years ago, and since then we've been trying to do it, and every time we've tried to do it, it just didn't work. And never trying to do it to a theme before, but trying to kind of just create the album. We either wrote a few amazing songs and then some not so good ones, or we kind of listened to it so much that you got bored by it. But now this album's done, we just need to kind of give it to you. But I want to do it in a really specific way, which is why one of you is getting the original tape next week, and hopefully he's going to be able to put it online and share it with the world. That's the intention anyway. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this. Good to catch up, and I will see you on the next song. Thanks.